An adventure isn't really an adventure until something goes wrong. At least that's what they tell me. When something goes wrong, it never happens at a time of our choosing. Sometimes, like now, it happens at 3 a.m. And most of the time, 9 times out of 10, those problems were preventable. Proper maintenance before I leave. We have to do stupid stuff on our own. In the middle of the night without waking people up. For this problem, we woke up halfway through the night with a nasty sulfury smell that filled the air of the motorhome. You could taste it. It was in your mouth. It was absolutely horrible. Unsure of what it was or why, we opened up all the windows, opened up the door. We went outside and sat in 42-degree weather while the motorhome aired out. Purely for safety. We weren't sure exactly why or what. Like I said, I don't know what it was at the time. So we felt it safer to get out of the motorhome until we could figure out what it was. A little Google research pointed us in the direction of the batteries. Overcharging or overheating was my best guess. My worry was that the batteries had no water in them due to their age. They were still the batteries from the original family that we bought the motorhome from, but they hadn't given me any problems. But still, that's no excuse. I didn't check them. This is all on me. So now I'm going to find out whether I'm right. Look inside, bone dry. There's a little bit of water in that one, but yeah, they're pretty much bone dry. Bad deal. Very stupid. Yep, no fluid. Guess we know what the problem is. Okay, so we've taken both our batteries out. It's 5:30. We're hopeful that we can get 2 new ones in Durango. These weren't too bad to get out. And this one is bone dry. So we believe this one's shot. This one, it's time to check right now. But my guess is it's probably the same. It's probably bone dry. And probably my fault for not checking these sooner. But here we are. So the good news is we won't burn anything down, and we can fix it. So hopefully it's just the batteries, and that's where we're going to start. So catch up with you later. So we've had an interesting morning. A rude awakening this morning with the battery issue. We're hoping we can pick them up in Durango. If not, we're okay with power right now. We were plugged into shore power, even without the batteries. So we've gone ahead and are moving forward with everybody going to the train ride. And we are now, we've left Silverton, headed for Durango. And it's one of those interesting mornings where it's super foggy with the storm that's rolling in. Or rolling through, I should say. So it's really giving you kind of a creepy vibes and kind of a difficult driving situation with all these curvy roads. But we're all going to be tired. It's going to feel like a long day, but I think we're going to have a good time. We're not going to let an early morning or bad batteries cause us grief. We're going to go and have fun and enjoy this train ride. So we'll catch up with you on the train. We had little time to kill prior to boarding, so we spent some time wandering a small museum on site, which had an interesting collection of, well, everything. The museum does obviously focus on railroad, however, they do have a collection of quite a few other things that I think are just a collection of things of whatever they could find. There was no rhyme or reason to it, but very interesting nonetheless, and well worth checking out while you're waiting to board the train. Before long, we were boarding, and it was time to get the show on the road. Or the rails. Or whatever. This kid wasn't having nearly as much fun as I was. This section of the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad was opened in 1882. From its inception, the line was used to haul passengers and freight between Durango and the town of Silverton. The narrow gauge refers to the narrow width between the rails, which is only 3 feet. And an estimated $300 million worth of precious metal ore has been transported along these rails. Over the rail's lifetime, it's had to survive slides, floods, snow, 2 world wars, and of course, financial problems. That's a familiar story. You hear that all the time. But the route gained status as a National Historic Landmark and a National Historic Civil Engineering Landmark, which I had never heard of before, by the late 1960s. The train travels up the Animas Canyon and parallels the Animas River. The color of the river here was drastically different from what we were seeing up in Silverton behind our RV park. This is due to the different minerals throughout the canyon and probably the ores, but it is drastic. It was quite crazy, but it was kind of cool. I mean, that yellow color in there was very interesting. You probably wouldn't want to drink that for sure. Since we were staying in Silverton, we didn't need to take the full tour from Durango all the way back to Silverton. So we chose to do the Cascade Canyon Express that stops roughly halfway up the canyon and stops for lunch before taking you back to Durango. Our lunches were purchased and provided by the Durango-Silverton Railroad when we pre-purchased our tickets. Prices to ride the train range between about $100 up to $300 depending on the experience you want and which line you take. You know, if you go all the way up to Silverton, you're going to spend some time up there. This is a half-day deal that we did, and in my opinion was the better way to go. After about an hour, it's time to head back to Durango. Since you have assigned seats, the view is a little different for the return trip. We had a ball bouncing around the railroad this day. The day started out on a sour note, but quickly turned around for us, and we got to live out a little history as a reward. The railroad is open in the winter, by the way, if you're tough enough. As wonderful as that experience may be, I think I'll pass. We did get 2 batteries at the Durango Walmart, so we were able to get the motorhome back up and running with no more issues. So that did work out for us. Sometimes it pays to get lucky. So that's all from the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. We appreciate you riding along with us. Next time, we're off the rails and back to the trail as we explore the infamous Black Bear Pass. This is a world-renowned Jeep trail that you just must see to believe. So come on back next week and see what we're doing. Until then, stay safe. Thanks.